We are live.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to another edition of the Hockey Nation.
Oh, he froze.
We
Oh
went to
no,
the
Coach Frenchie froze. So this is Hockey Nation and Pucks and Dreams. Coach Frenchie looks like he's having some internet issues. So busy night in the NHL last night, including the debut of new coach in Montreal, Dominic Ducharme. We'll wait for Coach Frenchie to come in because I'm sure he's going to want to talk about this. But lots of games last night to touch on. I'm going to join for a little bit. Let's see. So if we start at the top, we had a lot of blows, big scores last night, including the Islanders beating Boston 7-2. There's Coach Frenchie. He's back.
I was excited to come start the
He
show.
blew the circuit.
I don't know what happened. I had no clue. Like nothing telling me something like,
That's all right. So I was just saying, we got your introduction, and then you froze. But so the big news, I would say, there's a bunch of interesting games last night. The big news, I would say, though, is the debut of Dominic Ducharme didn't quite go over real great in Montreal. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
I can start with that one over there. Of course you have to be upset because, it's not what right. But when the team, sometimes sport is not right. I know what, we can complaining about many things, but the game prior, right? Gallagher get disallowed a goal where many people said should be in, right? So they turn around after the game, they fire Claude Julien. So imagine if Gallagher score because really he was, we can talk about this. Someone would say he's in and one, but it's 2.1 seconds. So the game is, all right. So yesterday, Montreal is winning 2-0, 3-1. And Corey Perry got a high stick in the face. And the ref is turning and he didn't see it. Another ref didn't see it. The puck go around, Jets coming back, and he score 3-2. So if they see the high stick, they cut a penalty, you have no goal, and the game changed. Now they they have a lot, three things like that yesterday. They maybe Josh Anderson on the sweet. Is it like a sweet someone who hit someone under the knee?
Foot.
Yeah. So from DeMello, no call.
No call.
Now they lost Josh Anderson for the rest of the game. So again, if the ref see this, it's another dimension about they are looking that. Yesterday, Weber picked the puck. The puck is on the air. He just touched it, and he sent the puck and the stand. What he got? 2-minute penalty. What happened? Jets score. So a lot of things like that, it's not their favor. Now, that's not make excuse to say they don't play good. They look bad. All right?
Yeah,
they look very bad. Carey Price, he look like a midget AAA player right now. You have to be concerned about him right now because he looks so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think this goes back to I was very surprised at the move to remove Julian. He's a world-class coach. He's had success with that organization despite the ups and downs, and it's not a great lineup. It's okay. And their star players Carey Price. And I like Dom Ducharme. I'm excited for his opportunity, but I think we see this is not about the coach.
I agree with you. I'm doing a video today about 5 reasons why the team is not what they're supposed to think. Like that it was going to be that way. And I think the first 10 games of the season did not show exactly who they are. Because if you look about this, Carey Price is not great. Weber and Sherratt have a bad season so far. Right? You can go with Kulak, look very bad. Then the center line, it's not what they expect they were. So not to be not give credit, but I think they was expect more. Philip Danault have 0 goal. 0 goal, Philip Danault, and the last all season. He has 1 goal the last 43 game in NHL regular time.
And I think we see traditionally, I don't think you can rely on this guy to score. He's his best year is 13 goals. And they had a great debut with Anderson. Toffoli's doing great, but in the end, if you're going to win by depth, then the depth's got to score, and the goaltending's got to be really good on this team.
But Michael, let's go for team by team. Anaheim, Boston, Buffalo, Calgary. We go all the way, right? Your first center of each team. Which team have the first center with 0 goal this year?
No, there's no way you can't do it.
You cannot do this. So that's give you an idea right
No,
now.
they're not.
So
I mean,
they are
even
not at the
compare-
right share, right? They are not at the right share.
Absolutely.
So, and then, you cannot blame Suzuki because
No,
that's
you can't.
20 years old, 22 years old, starting to play
They're
center.
great.
So they cannot put them like, blame them because they have to learn. It's a process
Right.
to learning that situation over there.
And I think that just goes back to my point. Like, this is a team that will win very specifically. And if you look at in that division alone, like you look in the Canadian division, you compare them to Toronto, they don't have a Tavares, they don't have a Matthews. You look at Edmonton, they don't have a Draisaitl, they don't have a McDavid, they don't have any of that. Winnipeg, they don't have a Scheifele, they don't have a Dubois. Calgary's
right.
Calgary's got Monahan and Backlund, and they're struggling. Vancouver, like, who's their number one centerman? Because Bo Horvat's really more like a number 2 to me.
That, what I mean? Like,
Ottawa's really young, and Ottawa's killing it lately.
So you have 3 teams, right? I would say to you after we have 20 game right now, right? Most of the game, 20 game, they are there. So you have Toronto, Edmonton, Winnipeg. Then you have Montreal, Calgary, Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then you have Ottawa, where they could go through people like that and to beat anybody else, right? So I think
they're playing well lately, and you're seeing that they can compete. But
they destroyed Calgary yesterday.
They destroyed Calgary. They've had great. They got the Montreal coach fired.
They beat Montreal 2 times, right?
And then look at their games against Edmonton, Pierre.
And then again, Toronto. Remember the losing by 4, went by 5. They got a bad game after that. No, they got a 2-1 game after that. They lose, and then they have a bad game. So if you go about this, the last 6 game, right?
They're good.
So they are 4. They are 4-2, and on the 6th game, they have only 1 bad game over there. So.
To make the assessment that this is going to matter, moving out a world-class coach, probably a Hall of Fame coach, and Claude Julien, and no offense to Dom Ducharme, because he's an excellent coach, but that's not the problem.
It's not the problem. I think now they was said some stuff like yesterday was a lot of people who said Julien was not the same he was before, no aggressive, didn't want to change players line, everything like that. Yesterday you got a couple of new change, everything like that. But
they lost.
But again, no, but listen, the game is great for the first 30 minutes, Michael. It's 3-3, right? But again, they came back to the same mistake. The same mistake after mistake, that the not be aware to open up the defensive side, to be on. I can go all the way like that.
Well, so it's a good point. Claude Julien, to me, is not a systems coach. He's not Barry Trotz. Claude Julien is more like a Pat Quinn. And he says to his players, I trust you to do these things, and these are your assignments. And you stay on the right side of the puck, win your battles, outnumber them on the puck, and play your best and be a little bit creative, but don't take undue chances. And that's how he gets results, because the trust between the player and the coach. I think he's that type of coach. Do you think he's like that? Because that's not my impression.
You're right. So Julien will run 4 lines, 6D.
Yeah.
No change, 4 lines, 6D.
Right.
Ducharme, you can see at the first period, they bring Toffoli on the first line, they come back on the 3rd line, they skip the 4 line, they come back with the 2 line. Now, Julien did not bring Lehtonen at the last 2 games, and he should. I think the mistake of Ducharme right now, and I talk about this, I don't know with you or Craig, the Panthers let Propovsky on the bench for 2 games, 3 games, back to back to back. And he's $10 million, on resume, he's better to Drager, but Drager is doing well right now. Have a great run so far. So Kenville have 40 years experience coach. So if someone's going to say to Kenville, hey, buddy, or Bill Zito or Viola, tell him, put Propovsky, we give him $10 million, Kenville said, hey, buddy, I'm coach. At 40 years, I won the Stanley Cup 3 times. Nobody would tell me who is going to be in the goal in the net. Because it's Ducharme, he had no experience and nothing like he cannot said to Carey Price, you're going to be sit, you look like poorly play right now. We're going to put Jake Allen. You have not that kind of the resume or something like that. So the coach with less experience cannot do that. You have to go with what they pay the most, everything like that. So that's what they bring Price yesterday, but they will bring back Allen because right now he's the number 41 of the goaltender with the worst save percentage. So the number now will talk more louder at the performance today. So they will bring Allen. But again, my point is Carey Price not perform well. Weber's, defensive side, you have a difficult time. Petrie have a couple bad game recently, between that, and I can go all the way like that. But maybe at the end of the day, like you said at the beginning of the show, maybe they are not who people thinking they are, or maybe they have a bad assessment about the team at the end of the day, and the expectation was higher because they was expecting Munson, Toffoli, Anderson, and Allen. But take those 4 players right there. Cannot complain they are playing the level they're supposed to play. Is the rest of the players they were supposed to play the level they did during the playoffs.
All cylinders.
They don't do anything. So that's what they are right now, and it's
it is what it is.
Listen, I give up at 11 minutes at the end of the game. I just what, go watch other game. So what I mean, I did not do a post game. I was too mad. But again, so it is what it is, and there will be a hard time. The good news is Vancouver, Calgary have a difficult time, so they maybe slip at the 4, but it'll be very hard for them to. You have something have to happen, I don't know what will happen, but I like Alex Burrow. The way he was behind the bench yesterday and the way they can now everything like that. They talk a lot of great thing about Alex Burrows.
Yeah.
What he did at Laval, and he bring energy, everything like that. So we'll see what they look like. But, we cannot blame Ducharme for one game. You have to give him like 10, 15 games before something happened right there. But again, they look bad right now. So.
They're just, if they had gotten a Dubois or someone that could actually be a legit number 1 centerman, it would have really helped.
Yep. All right, let's
we
move
can
on next one.
A few things. Isles versus Boston, a blowout by the
Wow,
Isles.
this was not supposed to happen, to be honest with you. I would tell you right first of all, the Islanders did not play well for the last couple of games, right? They have a great run, I think 8 games with at least 1 point, and then they drop a couple of games this weekend, and we turn that right. So I was not expecting Boston to have 2 bad games, good game against Flyers, then again a bad game. So they lost 3 of the last 4. That's not an alarm over there. They are one of the best stats about not give a lot of goal against, and also the shot again, they are very good. But again, at the end of the day, was not what I expect. A good performance, Islanders yesterday. I don't know, I think they scored 3-4 goals straight. Boston never been in the game.
Third period, they scored 5 goals, I think.
Yeah.
So it was just Halak was bombarded, and they just overwhelmed them.
No, you cannot blame. Sometimes you can blame the goaltender.
No,
I don't think she was.
Shots,
yeah, I agree with you about that one over there.
Now he was an 811 save percentage, so that's definitely not what you want. You definitely need him to be 900 in a game like that. But
yeah,
it kind of fell apart there. Caps and Pens, the age-old rivalry. I'm never surprised when either of them win.
This has surprised me a little bit. I don't know, but again, the Capitals did not play well against them. I was expecting them to come back stronger, and that's what they did yesterday. It's a team just like I don't know. I think it will happen a lot, Michael. Because it's. And we're just starting. We are now at the phase number 2 of the second half of the second quarter of the season right now. And I think right now we're going to have a teams getting tired back-to-back game or even tonight. So something will not showing. You expect a team showing up tonight and then it's just flat because listen, they are just dead. So it could happen, and that's what it will happen. But again, we have to give credit to Washington to completely
6 goals in the third period, Pierre.
Yeah, and 35, and again it was 2-2, Michael.
Yeah, it was a shootout in the third, man. It was crazy. Oh, you froze again. hopefully Pierre can join us back on this. So I'm going to quickly run through. I have to run, unfortunately. Hopefully Pierre can jump on. We had a 3-1 win, Tampa Bay Lightning over the Canes. I think we're seeing head-to-head that, listen, Tampa has not lost much. Braden Point is not even producing right now, and they're still going to win games. And as good as the Canes are, because they are very good, the Bolts are just better right now. And I think head-to-head is going to pan out where Tampa ends up first in this division. Canes will probably be second. But another team that's really interesting once again is the Panthers win again. So the Panthers beat the Stars 3-2 in another close one. I think, we've already said this, but the changes are obviously the right changes in Florida. Sorry, I just ran through a couple games. We're on to the Stars and the Panthers. I'm going to have to jump, unfortunately.
Yep.
But Panthers win again. I was commenting before that head-to-head, the Bolts beat the Canes 3-1. I think these are probably the top three teams in this division, Pierre. And I think that the Bolts are probably still better than everybody, but you've got really close between the Panthers.
You know what happened with the Panthers game last night?
No.
2-0 Dallas until 7 minutes at the end of the game.
Again, right? Like
Panthers scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
Barkov, Strawman, and then Vetrano. So resilient team, and they're showing us they're for real, I think.
It's funny, you have so many come back.
That's 3 games there, right? One had 6 goals, one had 5 goals, and then 3 goals in the third.
Arizona 2 times this week with 3 goals backing.
Lead changes too.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things like that. You have to give credit to the Panthers. Chicago won yesterday 2-0, I believe.
Chicago, Malcolm Subban. It wasn't even Kevin Lankinen, who's been probably the best goaltender. Subban comes in playing the best of his career, and he gets a shutout versus the Blue Jackets.
He had a good year so far. If you look at his number, I think it's 4-2-1. Yeah. That's another big surprise over there. Being honest with you over there. You know what I mean? So Nashville lost. Detroit won yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, we never expect that. Sam Gagner, the guy who should not be in the lineup, gets a hat trick.
Is third of his career.
Years, right?
You remember the last time he got a hat trick?
Remember we had 8 points?
And that well,
but you know what's amazing, Pierre? He always ends up with the same number of goals at the end of the season. Oh, no, he's frozen again. We're getting that Florida internet. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's a hurricane there. Big night for Sam Gagner. He looked great. I'm sure he'll go back into a coma in the next couple games, but he played very well, and you can bank on him. Senators crushed the Flames. Another great game for the Senators. This team, at some point, we have to say, this is a really good young team. They've played well against Toronto. They've played well against Edmonton. They got Claude Julien fired in Montreal, and then now they come into Calgary and they crush the Calgary Flames. So absolutely crazy. Devils, Sabres cannot get a break, man. They win one game, they lose in overtime. So they've got 3 points now in the last 2 games. Sabres, I don't know. At some point, there's got to be something that breaks in Buffalo. Now, I think they're playing without Jack Eichel. So I think Eichel is injured. But the big story is Taylor Hall. 1 goal. This is the $8 million man that everybody wanted. And, man, he's just not producing. He got a lot of assists, but you need a lot more from Taylor Hall if that team's going to succeed. The best offensive player is Victor Olofsson. That guy's dangerous every game. I like a lot of the parts, but something's not adding up. They need to figure out 1 or 2 more pieces where they need to get Taylor Hall on track. Kind of crazy. We talked about the Jets versus Canadiens game, 6-3 for the Jets. They lose the Dominic Ducharme debut. Again, I think this is showing us the problems are in the details of the game, yes, but I just don't think that team's that good. I mean, when they go head-to-head with a team with 2 number 1 centers and they don't even have 1, they're going to lose. Oilers, again, Puya Harvey scores again. McDavid gets an empty netter at the end of the game. 3-0, shutout for Mike Smith. Mike Smith coming back from injury, been phenomenal. Doing it without much help on the back end because Koskinen's out. So the Oilers, man, they continue to roll, and they're going to challenge Toronto for first in the league and first in that division. And McDavid and Draisaitl are on fire like you've never seen. So, Pierre, I got a Jet, unfortunately. I've kind of touched on a bunch of the games. I think I went through all of them so far. But I'm going to leave you to.
I think we should go to finish the show because my internet is
problems.
and I have nothing like it's sunshine, everything. You look, I don't know. It's StreamYard because I'm on everything else.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm a Facebook page and like I downloading other page to see his problem.
StreamYard, get your act together, man. What's going on? That's weird.
I know. 3 games tonight. Boston Rangers for one thing. Colorado is in Minnesota. It'll be interesting to see that. It's a back-to-back game. And I think we have a third game in NHL. I'm not remember which one it was, but
tonight?
Yeah. Vegas and San Jose is postponed last night. And
tonight, LA versus Minnesota again. That's really interesting. The Kings are crushing people. Colorado versus Arizona. Colorado needs to get on track, man. This is a team we all earmarked as being a Stanley Cup contender. They are not looking that good, man.
2 teams right now. The King, Minnesota, both teams doing well, and then Arizona won the last 2 games. Colorado lost the last 2 games. Yeah. But again, I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's crazy.
Boston, the Rangers. I have no interest in that game whatsoever. Either one team could win, and I would not care.
Yeah, like Boston is a back-to-back game, and they lost yesterday, but Rangers looking worse and worse, and also without Panarin. One thing I would say to you, you have to give credit to Chesterkin, the goaltender for Rangers. You know what? You have 2.40.
Yeah.
So you have to, I mean?
Absolutely. They need to get Mika Zibanejad going. They need to play Lafreniere now that Panarin's out and let him go.
They let play the first line last game, so that's pretty good. They did pretty good. They just lost 4-3 against Flyers, right? It's not like they played bad.
Nice time, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to point out in New York, Oliver Wahlstrom gets another goal. So if he's starting to get comfortable with the NHL, you might have a big goal scorer there in Long Island.
They play without Capo. He was on COVID. I don't know if he's back. He was on COVID. Bad news about the Pittsburgh. They lost Jason Zucker for many weeks. So that's another blowout over there without Zucker. It's a big part of this. For some reason, Jack Eichel was removed of the lineup a few minutes before the game last night.
I don't know if he's
we don't know. Nobody can. We tried to figure out I tried to watching the game online to see what is the problem. Nobody was talking about this.
The next game, apparently. Is that really? He missed the Thursday morning skate, but then he said he was going to play, but he didn't play, did he?
Yeah, so exactly. So he was not there in the morning. People say he gave him a day off.
I don't know if you saw. He had a collision in the prior game against New Jersey with Heeshire. And I think he's hurt. There's something going on. We don't know what. I don't think they want to put him on the injury reserve, but that's
something happening there, right? So we'll see interesting happen over there. So that also happened yesterday. And Zucker, bad news for him. They're going to lose him for a couple of weeks. Ankle problem. So that's another big.
Never good. All right, Pierre, it's a short show, but I appreciate you jumping on. And it looks like if you want to stay on, I have to go.
I'm good. I don't want to get out. Maybe I will drop. My internet will be dropped. So we did 30 minutes. We go through. Happy weekend, everybody. Look forward to see you Monday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time. Maybe streams on the weekend. Watch hockey game, everybody. Have a great weekend, everybody.